done here. We have a tape of a match that occurred recently between the Wild Side, and when we say the Wild Side, we're not making that up. These guys are wild. They're coming out right now to talk with us here on Championship Wrestling.
Where's that VCR? We want to show the people that we back up what we say. When we came here, we said we're going to put people out of professional wrestling. We want you to watch this tape, and we're going to show you that we back up what we say. You will not see John Paul in professional wrestling. You will not see him in the NWA. You will not see him in the WWF. You will not see him anywhere but in the hospital, or maybe a wheelchair. The boy is out of professional wrestling. He's 2 inches shorter. He's finished. He's a paraplegic, and it did my heart good to hurt somebody and put him out of professional wrestling. Watch closely right here. Watch closely. When you walk on the Wild Side, he's walking right now. That's it. John Paul will never wrestle again. Anywhere. Bar none. Now, boys, we're giving you a chance. You can walk out of that ring right now and not get put out. But you wrestle us, and we're going to hurt one of you boys bad. You got a chance.
The Wild Side, Chris Champion Mark Starr, set to go against...
This won't take long at all.
Set to go against Jimmy Masters and Chris Frazier. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Tracy Smothers has jumped into the ring. Now the Wild Side coming back to the net. Wait a minute.
We have a match with these two dudes. Tracy Smothers is not in this match, and nor will we wrestle him today.
Mark Starr, Chris Champion, caught by surprise by this turn of events.
No, this ain't gonna be. No, we signed that contract to wrestle these two Joe Brony goofballs. We're not wrestling him. We done put his partner out. He needs to hang his boots up and put it away before we finish him off, too.
Chris Frazier still in the ring, but wait a minute, that's Jimmy Masters still in the ring. You going to wrestle him or not? I think we got to get him in the ring. Referee Jerry Calhoun calling him to the ring.
Smothers, you got a chance. Smothers, you got a chance to walk out of there and not get out. Brother, we're going to put you out like Jean Paul.
Chris Champion with his comments, and the referee's call for the bell. Tracy Smothers is in the ring, a substitution that was not scheduled for this one, and Tracy Smothers is going to town on Champion and Star. Wow, Fire getting a taste of their own medicine, getting burned at the pass by Tracy Smothers. Referee Jerry Calhoun ordering Chris Champion out of the ring. Legal man is Mark Starr. The Wild Side getting a taste of wildfire. Tracy Smothers going to town as he came in and asked Chris Frazier to leave the ring. Jimmy Masters in his corner. Look at this, Smothers. Up and over goes Mark Starr. High drop kick, down goes Chris Champion. The Wild Side on the side of the ring now. Tracy Smothers turning up the heat. Mark Starr and Chris Champion. The Wild Side quickly retreating to the floor. Tracy Smothers calling him back in the ring. Mark Starr looking for his partner, perhaps to tag out here. Tracy, of course, with an element of revenge on his mind, as his partner, John Paul, was injured in a recent match against this same Wild Side team. Tag is made to Jimmy Masters. Masters in the ring, bars the arm of Mark Starr, comes down on it with an elbow. Starr backs Masters into the ropes. Jimmy Masters, the less experienced of the team of Tracy Smothers and Masters. Of course, like we said, this team was created at a last-minute substitution. Tracy Smothers came in and asked for Masters' partner to leave. The Wild Side had some comments for Championship Wrestling. Let's take a look.
You know, you're looking at the Wild Side here, people. We've been in this area for a short time, and we've went through people like knocking down dominoes, and we're going to keep on doing it in any of our opponents. I advise you to get you a good insurance plan because you're going to need it to pay them hospitals. Isn't that right, Chris?
That's right, boy. When you walk on the Wild Side, you don't walk no more. Two of the meanest hombres this side is Andoria, my friend. When we take it to the Wild Side. We're going to hospitalize people, put people out of professional wrestling, and take those two CWA tag team titles, my friend.
And the wild side doing damage to young Jimmy Masters in the ring. Tag is made. Chris Champion gonna put that big boot into the midsection several times. Star taking his time getting out of the ring. Referee Jerry Calhoun has his hands full with this tag team, I can assure you. Off the rope, high drop kick by Champion. Wild side, when they say wild side, they mean it. And they are one of the most rough and tumble tag teams I have ever seen in action in the ring. I mean, they are almost complacent about being in the ring, but once that bell rings, they go to town. Chris Champion dragging Masters over into the corner. Tag has made Mark Starr going to come in. Jim Masters being beaten down by the team of Wildside. Elbow by Mark Starr going for the cover. 1, 2. Masters kicked out from underneath. Tracy Smothers wanting back in the ring, looking for that tag. The wild side keeping Masters at bay. In the corner with the boot to the midsection goes Mark Starr. Now Tracy Smothers has had enough. He comes in, going to try to protect his partner. Smothers going after Mark Starr. Oh, what a high elbow. Legal man in the ring, though, remember, is Jim Masters. Chris Champion climbing the ropes. They set Masters up. A pile driver. Jerry Calhoun with his back turned. Masters pile driver driven in the center of the ring. Pile driven into the mat. And a count of 3. And Wildside takes the victory over Jim Masters.
That just goes to show that we back up everything we say. And boys back in the dressing room watching this monitor, take note. Because we are going to start putting people out of professional wrestling on a regular basis. We like to hurt people. Bottom line, I don't care about money. That's why I came here. I came to hurt people. Now get the ambulance, get the stretcher in the ambulance, take him there, and him and John Paul can room together. That's it.
Chris Champion, Mark Starr, Wildside continuing to run rapid in the area. Oh, boy. Let's take a break. We'll be back with more action right after this on Championship Wrestling. A lot more action up here on Championship Wrestling. In the ring right now from Memphis, Tennessee, is Scott Smith, and coming to the ring, you can probably hear his mouth, Ronnie Gossett, with his man, the Master of Pain, whose last known address was the Atlanta Penitentiary. We got the signal for the bell, and we're underway. Master of Pain, 318 pounds. Scott Smith, Master of Pain picking him up, big, high suplex, holding him high in the air for a good 3 or 4 seconds. Drops him flat on his back. Ronnie Gossett with his man, the Master of Pain, strutting around the ring. Pain catches him with that high boot to the chin. Scott Smith being taught a lesson, pulled high over the head of the Master of Pain, slammed to the canvas. Pain down on the back of the neck with that boot. They call him the Master of Pain, and from his technique and action in the ring, you can certainly see where he picked up his nickname. He is as rough as they come. Now, being tossed to the ring, or tossed out of the ropes onto the floor. Scott Smith, look at this. Ronnie Gossett taking advantage of an injured wrestler as he throws him back in the ring. Master of Pain coming off, catches him with that elbow. Pain backs against the ropes, going to drop that leg, double leg drop across the throat. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3, that's it. Master of Pain making quick work of Scott Smith in the ring. Ronnie Gossett quite proud of his man. Of course, there's going to be tougher competition along the line for this duo, or at least for the Master of Pain, who's recently been teaming with T.Y. Chuhai and Mr. Gossett. We've got a lot more wrestling action coming up. In fact, we're running a little late on the program today, so let's get the wrestlers in and get right back to action. This next match, one fall with a 10-minute time limit, will bring the Shadow from Parts Unknown, 229 pounds, against the Thumper, Frankie Lancaster. We're waiting. Here comes the Thumper now. Quite a crowd favorite. Frankie the Thumper Lancaster against the Shadow. 1 fall, 10-minute time limit. Referee is Jerry Calhoun. They lock it up, collar and elbow. Lancaster going right to work on the masked man. Whips him to the ropes, catches him with the elbow. Frankie Lancaster, I would have to say, is one of the most improved wrestlers I have seen over the past 6 months to a year. There is a neck breaker, up underhook. Rolled him over on that neck breaker. Caught the Shadow. Lancaster going in. Gonna send him on the suplex. Slingshot coming up. No. Gonna set him on top of the turnbuckle. Lancaster, the southpaw, going to work on the Shadow. Now from on top of the ropes. Lancaster, the superplex, and down goes the Shadow. Lancaster for the cover. 1, 2, this could be it, and is. That's 2 of the quickest matches I've seen in a long, long time. The thumper, Frankie Lancaster, up and over the Shadow using that superplex. Taking the match. What action here on Championship Wrestling. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back for more right after this on Championship Wrestling.
Hello everyone, I'm Roger Webb with Championship Wrestling. We want to remind you that there will be no wrestling this Wednesday at Riverside Downs, but we'll return next Wednesday. That's Wednesday, June 21st, Championship Wrestling at beautiful Riverside Downs. Also want to remind you, too, that Wrestling on TV, that'll be Sunday now at noon on Channel 7. That's this Sunday. Now, on that big match, the big main event, Wednesday, June 21st, for the first time in Henderson, Kentucky, it'll be a world title match.
You know, I hate for Dutch Mantell to win that title there in that town. I'll tell you, that town's a nice-looking place, but we're too close to those scrubby, ignorant-looking fans. I noticed on the front row last week, they didn't have 10 teeth between all of them.
You're not afraid of the people, are you?
I don't like them that close to me, Dutch.
Well, you can't be afraid of them. The only thing is, well, what's bothering you, Ronnie, is that they stink. They smell like horses. I walked out of that building after I whooped that Billy Travis like the low-life egg-sucking dog that he is, and I could not get over. Ronnie, I know it.
I almost passed out, Dutch, and plus the walk to the ring.
It is a long way to walk. But Henderson, let me tell you something, Riverside Downs. It's been a long time. And the reason we don't have wrestling next week is because I couldn't get Jerry Lawler to agree to have a match with me. But the week after, I got Jerry Lawler head up for that unified world heavyweight title, which is rightfully mine, by the way, I might add, for the uninformed. And Lawler, when you step in there, I don't care if we're in a racetrack, I don't care if we're in a beer joint, I don't care if we're in the post office, that title is coming back to me where it rightfully belongs. And Ronnie, I know you don't like it up there.
No, I
You don't like those people.
I don't like those
But you
people.
just stay close to me because I'll entertain you long enough and not let you get depressed for being there. And I'll walk out to the ring, and when I bring that belt back, and I know it's not a real good place to have a belt, but I'll take it anywhere. Next, well, let me tell you, people, Riverside Downs see a new world champion.
Championship Wrestling is proud to have one man who is absolutely on top of his field. He's a man that is the unified world heavyweight champion. Of course, the man I'm referring to is Jerry the King Lawler. We have a special video on the King. It is entitled Wanted Dead or Alive. I think it pretty well explains the plight of a world heavyweight champion, and in this particular case, Jerry the King Lawler. Let's go to that video right now.
Where the faces are so cold, I travel
one and only Novolone World Heavyweight Champion, the Unified World Heavyweight Champion, Jerry the King Lawler. Coming into the ring right now is Keith Robertson, 243 pounds, out of Memphis, Tennessee. Keith Robertson. And now the Unified World Heavyweight Champion, Jerry the King Lawler. Referee Jerry Calhoun in the ring. This match will be one fall with TV time remaining.
Give me that microphone. Let me tell you something, Keith Robertson. Come over here a minute, boy. Come over here. I hear you went to school with Jerry Lawler till you passed him up. So evidently you know what kind of a bully and a nothing-happening idiot he's been, and you've known him longer than we have. That's exactly right. So I tell you what I'm going to do for you. If you can beat this idiot, I'm going to put you under my wing. I'm going to take you places you've never been. I'm going to make people look up to you and say, that's Keith Robertson, not that's Keith Robertson. Because when you're with a man of my stature, my importance, you're going places. I know you've got your application in to be one of my men in the stable, but I'll tell you this. You beat Lawler, and I give you my word, boy, you'll be on High Street.
I'm beating for you, baby.
All right. All right.
Going down.
Ronnie P. Gossett the fourth, promising Keith Robertson if he beats Jerry the King Lawler, he's going to take him under his wing. Gossett out here at ringside, not, of course, to the invitation of anyone. He's just doing... Bell time. We got action. Jerry the King Lawler and Keith Robertson. Look at this. Lawler now has to...
I'm staying out here. I've got an investment on this man.
Lawler not too happy that Ronnie Gossett is going to be at ringside. Ronnie P. Gossett the fourth, as we have been instructed to call him. I could think of about 9 other things I'd like to call him, but none of which I would be able to stay on television to call him with, or at, or to. They lock it up, collar and elbow. Keith Robertson. I'm sure Robertson sees this as a chance of a lifetime. Not only is he taking on the Unified World Heavyweight Champion, Jerry the King Lawler, but Ronnie Gossett has promised that if he beats Lawler, he'll take him under his wing. To be honest with you, if he beat Lawler, it'd be a major upset. He wouldn't need Ronnie Gossett anyway. But, of course, I don't think Robertson sees it quite that way or in that light. Lock it up, collar and elbow. Lawler caught in the corner. Robertson throwing a right hand to the chin. Robertson smiling, Gossett cheering him on. Jerry the King Lawler hopefully will not underestimate Robertson. Of course, Robertson with some added motivation at the encouragement of Ronnie Gossett. And, of course, with Gossett at ringside, you never know what to expect. The guy's big enough around, he could keep an arsenal in his pants if he had to. Goodness knows what can happen. They lock it up middle of the ring now. Jerry Calhoun, referee, watching intently. Picks Lawler up. Scoop slam. Puts him on the mat. Jerry up quickly. Being caught by surprise of the annex of Robertson. Keith Robertson being spurred on at ringside by Ronnie Gossett. Lawler eyeing his opponent. They lock it up one more time. Wraps that arm up one time. Arm bar by Robertson on the King. Lawler. Robertson has thus far taken the measure of the match. Taken the match into his own hands and controlled the tempo. Keeping Lawler wrapped up in that arm bar. King asking the crowd, should he go ahead and throw one at this guy? Wrap that fist together. There's that right hand. When Lawler throws that right hand, it is like a slingshot of pure power coming out of that shoulder of the King. He threw it right to the face of Robertson, and Robertson quickly took refuge under Ronnie Gossett's wing. Even though Robertson is not a part of Ronnie Gossett's army, or stable as he calls it, he's got his big chance here today on television. Jerry the King Lawler got to beware. Lawler backed into the corner again by Robertson. Reaches back, throws a right hand. Perry retaliates with one of his own. And again, Robertson to the floor. Keith Robertson getting some more instruction from Ronnie Gossett. Look at Gossett. Right in his face, telling him what to do. I think there's an old adage in wrestling is he who cannot teaches. And that certainly would be the case with Ronnie P. Gossett IV. Bad enough he walks around. I could see him in the middle of the ring. Gossett stalking outside. Robertson, Lawler in the ring. Gossett coming over now to antagonize the crowd some more. Now adding some choice words for referee Jerry Calhoun. This match, with the expiration of our TV time remaining, Lawler ducks underneath, sets him up. Robertson on the mat. Lawler threatening, crowd saying to do it. Referee trying to keep Lawler off the man. Now starts the count. Lawler setting Robertson now with a leg split. Lawler bowing him open. Referee Jerry Calhoun checking the shoulders of Robertson. Gossett complaining at ringside more and more as each passing moment of the match. Lawler now, look at this. This has got to be very, very painful to the ligaments of the upper calf. Lawler in a wishbone on Keith Robertson. Robertson, whoa! Brings him on over. Robertson in some kind of pain now. Stretching the muscles, perhaps a groin injury. But Keith Robertson now getting some instruction from Ronald P. Gossett, or Ronnie P. Gossett IV. If he hears his name being mentioned on television, right away has choice verbiage for just about everyone in the championship wrestling studio. Lawler locking it up again with Robertson. Robertson backing him into the corner. Robertson, forearm side of the face, bolo chop to the back. Brings him out of the corner, sets him up, goes for the neck breaker, and does, completes the neck breaker on the King. Lawler in pain. Robertson with that little Gossett wiggle. Right hand to the side of the jaw. King goes down hard. Unified World Heavyweight Champion Jerry the King Lawler in a bit of trouble now at the hands of Keith Robertson. Another neck breaker, and down he goes. The King on the mat, taking the full measure of Keith Robertson. Robertson, I must say, would be a dark horse to even stay in the ring this long with Jerry Lawler. Now look at this. Ronnie Gossett has got Lawler by the throat on the ropes. Holy cow. Referee Jerry Calhoun being distracted by Keith Robertson. And Ronnie Gossett, in the meantime, does his dirty diligence on Jerry the King Lawler. Robertson stomping away. Lawler worse for wear right now. Robertson may be making a mistake here by not closing in quicker on the King. Gonna wrap him up, go for the neck breaker again, and he does. Going one more time, wraps him up. Lawler down. That's the fourth neck breaker that Robertson has put on Jerry the King Lawler. That is a devastating maneuver, putting pressure to the vertebrae at the top of the spine. Robertson going for the cover. Lawler has got his leg on the top, on the bottom rope, and that will cause a break. Robertson had a near pin. Had Jerry not been that close to the rope, he may have had him that time. Robertson going for the scoop slam. Picks him up, slams him down. Off the rope, misses with the elbow. There goes the slap. Jerry the King Lawler with a second win, left hand. There's another one. Jerry throwing those punches. Roundhouse right. Robertson goes down. King closing in. Big solid right hand that time. Robertson now in the corner. Ronnie Gossett trying to distract the referee. Referee pulling Lawler off of Robertson. Gossett slips. Robertson, something. Robertson may have a chain. Holy cow. He landed that right hand, and I believe he had something wrapped. He had a chain that was slipped to him from Ronnie Gossett. Robertson going for the cover. 1, 2. Lawler reverses. 1, 2, 3. Lawler gets the win. But Keith Robertson had the King on the ropes, both literally and figuratively, before the King did a roll-up. King complaining that Gossett had a chain and he slipped it to Robertson. Jerry the King Lawler victorious here on Championship Wrestling. I want to talk about another crowd favorite. This man has been places and done things, and for a man of his size has made accomplishments in Championship Wrestling that are totally beyond belief. I'm talking about the battler, Bill Superstar Dundee. Let's take a look at him right now. In action. Jerry the King Lawler, the World Unified Heavyweight Championship. Everybody wants a shot at him. And of course, it's going to take a lot, but somebody's going to have to do something for Mr. Ronnie P. Gossett IV and his stable. I'll tell you, they're a tough bunch to deal with, and goodness knows what's going to happen with them. Michael St. John on behalf of Championship Wrestling, thank you for joining us. Be sure to join us next week right back here. Until then, so long, everybody.
The announcers on this program are selected and paid by parties other than this station, namely the promoters of Championship Wrestling.
Johnny Dave Brown here at ringside, ready to go with CWA Championship Wrestling today. Boy, we got Dutch Mantell coming in. Master of Pain will be here. You can bet Ronnie P. Gossett will be lurking somewhere. Action Jackson and Billy Travis, the brand new CWA Tag Champions, are going to be with us today. The Wild Side, Mark Starr and Chris Champion will be along. Jeff Jarrett will be here today, and we're going to have the King and his special partner, Freddie, coming up later on today. You stay with us. We'll be back with CWA Championship Wrestling in just a moment. Time limit match coming up here. You know, I understand last week Jeff was not available because Ronnie P. Gossett had thrown something in his eyes trying to put him out. But you see Jeff is back. He's just handed that CWA heavyweight belt out of the ring. This is a non-title match, by the way. Jeff Jarrett goes against the Hangman. 1 fall, 10-minute time limit on this one. Jeff and the Hangman tie it up. Hangman shoves it back. Yeah, celebrate, Hangman. Got a sneaking suspicion you better celebrate early. Going against one of the finest wrestlers anywhere around, Jeff Jarrett. Oh, boy, the Hangman's really happy. Look at this. You haven't pinned him yet. Again, they tie it up in the middle of the ring. Hangman again shoves him back. That's third time that has worked for him, but it hasn't really gained him much advantage. You can see it sure didn't even gain him a psychological advantage over Jeff Jarrett. Jeff just came in and just shoved him down. Jeff with a headlock. Can't hold on to it, though, as the Hangman sent him firing into the ropes. Jeff with his shoulder butt again coming off of there. This time he goes by. Hey, the Hangman takes him over. Jeff's got the arm bar on the Hangman there. Jeff had a few words to say. Let's take a look, take a listen and a look at what Jeff had to say right here.
Well, Ronnie Gossett, it seems to me that you're making yourself a pretty long list of enemies. First of all, you jump Jerry Lawler and all your stooges jump him and put him out of action. Then you're at ringside during one of my matches. You're not even supposed to be there, and you throw some crazy stuff in my eyes. Well, Gossett, let me tell you something. You better start sleeping with one eye open. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even go to sleep because, boy, like I said, you made a long list of enemies. And now I hear you're talking about you're going to be responsible for taking the CWA title. Well, you just try it, because I'm going to do everything in my power to put you out. When Jerry Lawler's not on your behind, I'm going to be.
Better look out, Ronnie P. Gossett. Jeff Jarrett right now continues to work on the Hangman. Bar on the left arm. Jeff pretty well in control of the action right here. Hangman early on thought he was about to gain the advantage over Jeff Jarrett. Hasn't worked out that way up to this point. Well, wandering out here right now from Oil Trough, Texas, the Dirty Dutchman, Dutch Mantell. Dutch, you're pulling up a chair. Does that mean you're staying for a few minutes?
I'm going to watch this man. I heard what that human Q-tip that Jeff Jarrett had to say, and he's going to be talking about anybody. Here's a man who stole the CWA belt from me and is running around trying to badmouth somebody else. And I think that's like the kettle calling the pot black. That man's a known thief, and he's running around with my belt, which is rightfully mine, I might add, and he's in there, and he's trying to tell everybody how bad he is and what he's going to do, and I'll do this. Well, they might be picking on Gossett, or trying to pick on him, but you don't see him trying to pick on me because he knows I can take him out at any time.
Well, Dutch, that's your version of what happened there, actually.
Well, my version is the correct version. I don't know what kind of slant you want to put on it, Dave Brown, but that's my slant on it, and my slant is the correct one. Now, you may say a lot of things. These people at home, they may say a lot of things about it and saying I'm this and I'm that, but Jeff Jarrett's the one who's running scared. He's the one who's he's trying to say all kind of stuff. But see, I got the true version of it, and the true version is he has my belt, and he's trying to run with it. He's trying to hide behind it, and you can only hide for so long before it finally catches up with you.
Well, I think the folks at home will make their own decision. I think they've seen what happened. I think they know how Jeff won the belt.
I guess you think the people at home are more qualified to talk about Jeff Jarrett than I am, a man who's actually been in the ring with him several times and has beat him every time out. Every time I go to the ring, every outing that I go to the ring with Jeff Jarrett, I come out with my hand raised. And I've made that a point, I've made that a policy of Dutch Mantell's career, that every time I go to the ring with anybody, I'm going to come out with my hand in the air by hook or by crook.
Well, once again, that's your version of it, Dutch Mantell. There's a clothesline by Jeff Jarrett. He's got the cover. Count of two. Can't hold it for a 3 count.
The whole thing.
Yeah, you're right.
He may take this guy out here because of the caliber here, Jeff Jarrett. I'm going to go over and say that he is a better wrestler than his hangman he's wrestling right here. But he's not a better wrestler than I am. He's not a better wrestler